Hello and welcome to this episode of Essex by the Sea. I'm Owen Ward, exploring the Essex coast, finding out about the amazing and interesting stories it has to offer. Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite podcast app, and if you like what you hear, tell your friends about Essex by the Sea as well. What's the first thing that you think of when you think of Southend? Is it perhaps a walk down the world-famous pier, fish and chips along the seafront, or maybe it's a memory about a trip to the Kursaal? Currently, the Kursaal stands empty, but there's a group of people who hope the building's future might look a bit brighter. Rachel Dingle is from Concrete Culture, Southend's new art cooperative, and joins me now. Rachel, thanks very much for joining me on Essex by the Sea. Just explain then for me what Concrete Culture actually is.
Well, we're just simply a group of residents that really care about Southend. We all have different backgrounds, so we've got musicians and theatre makers, people that work in events, people that work in community-led projects, we've got people that work in design. And we basically started a conversation saying there's no space in Southend for community and for performance. And we started talking about what we could do about that. And then we sort of focused our attention on the Kursaal. And we're sort of leading this campaign to try and bring it back for the community.
In terms of the space, perhaps, that you're looking at and what you're saying there, I mean, we've got the Cliffs Pavilion, and I'm just thinking we've got the Palace Theatre in Westcliff as well, but they're more for theatre productions. Are you thinking of all the other creative arts that there is, really?
I think, yeah, the trend for like a live performance is moving towards flexible spaces that can be used for, numerous types of events of music or for theatre or for dance, for comedy, any sort of live performance that it could be, for spaces that are tailor-made and made deliberately for this flexible use, purposefully built, that this sort of space doesn't really exist in Southend.
I was going to say, I know Southend very well, both through the podcast, but also outside of doing this. And there isn't anywhere really, as I say, other than the Cliffs Pavilion, perhaps, but the venues in Southend for the kind of thing that you're describing, there really isn't any, is there, at the moment?
No, and it also then feeds into where people can get their break and where they can start their careers and how you can nurture the talent. The group that came together, the Concrete Culture, started with, we all started our careers and we had to leave the town to find work, and we've sort of come to the point in our careers where we're coming back and we're realising that we want to work in the town that we love and that we live in, but there was no way for us to progress in our careers whilst being in the town. And that's what we want to change. Like, we want to be able to work here. But if there's no facilities to do that, then we are going to have to go to London or go elsewhere to do that. And
so I guess in terms then with the sort of collection of local Southend residents that you've got together, you've got that a variety of careers. And if you perhaps don't mind me asking, Rachel, sort of what career route have you gone down then?
So I trained in theatre design. So I was a set and costume designer for a number of years. And now I've sort of moved into writing and producing. And so I want to do events and experiences as well as theatre shows. But I want to do it in Southend. So, that's how this conversation started. So I also set up a website called Sharp Southend because I just wanted to know what was happening in Southend and to promote the really cool stuff that was happening. And that, I think that's what is similar about all of us in this group, is that we all want the same thing, and everyone we talk to wants the same thing. Like, we want to know what's happening, we want to have opportunities to do stuff and the facilities to be able to to action the really cool ideas that we have from every creative discipline and community orientated projects.
Southend is a huge town, really, in comparison to some others. And I am quite surprised that there isn't this space, really, because Southend has got a long history of being a very creative place, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Southend is has a series of firsts. If you look back at history, it's got, obviously, the Kursaal was the first amusement park, and Southend is the home to a lot of firsts in radio. The history of Southend is very creative and very innovative, and that hasn't stopped in the town. It's just become less obvious and less talked about.
And I guess that is because, as you rightly said, the people of Southend have to travel to other places to be able to then, be able to develop these ideas and try new things and see what works and what doesn't, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think there is a lot still happening in Southend. People do manage to do things, but it just needs the support now and the facilities to then take it a step further.
So, talking about taking it a step further, and one of those ideas really is to redevelop the Kursaal into this kind of multi-purpose venue that could be used. And I've seen hashtag Kursaal comeback doing the rounds on social media. Tell me about that and how's that gone?
So we basically put it out to the town and said, what do you think the Kursaal should be? And what would you like it to be? Like it should be the town's decision about what it should become. And we put out this phase 1 of a consultation where we've got over 1,100 responses to that, which we are currently going through and working out the next stage of the consultation. But it just proves that so many people care about that building and they want it to be basically to be something. It's been empty for so long. It's had a series of things that haven't worked, and people from the consultation and from the massive response that we're getting, people are they really want it to be something and to be able to use it again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I remember a few years ago when the Kursaal was kind of a bit of an amusements and bowling alley, but the Kursaal itself has got a very long history going back, and I guess people have been getting in touch with some quite nice memories of what the Kursaal used to be. Can you share some of those with us?
People have been sending a lot of memories. I think the most, the common one is they met their partners there, which is always lovely to read. And we had one person get into contact because one of their relatives was one of the Wall of Death riders.
Oh, right.
Which is super cool. And they still live locally. And we just had a constant people want to know what's happening because they care about that building so much that there is a constant conversation about it, which is fantastic. And it's sort of spurring us on to make sure, or to at least keep going to try and make this actually happen.
And the Kursaal itself, I mean, the building is A, an impressive building, B, right in prime location on Southend seafront there, and a busy road junction as well. So it's a prime location for something to go there in that building, and your hope clearly is that it's something along the creative arts line.
I think it's not necessarily just creative, but a community space. It's not our decision to make what happens to it. We're just the voices of what the town says. So, but an overwhelming response from the first stage of the consultation was community and cultural and creative projects. So that is the next stage is to sort of start with that and then carry on the conversation to see exactly what people want. And
you've been quite fortunate because I've seen some quite big names sort of back in the hashtag campaign on social media and taken a keen interest in what happens to the building.
Yeah, we've been really lucky. Obviously, Helen Mirren, we've put out her quote, but we've got a few more people that have been in touch to give the support. And I think it just proves, it's universally loved.
I heard Lee Mead talking about the Kursaal and sort of more generally memories of Southend. Of course, still a local boy. In fact, I've seen him along the seafront once.
Yeah, I think people realise that it's something that's the town desperately needs and wants, and so they're happy to back it. And I think that's fantastic for them to give their support.
So we're obviously hoping that the Kursaal perhaps becomes this place that enables the community of Southend to come together and share ideas and make things in all variety of different ways that could be made. I mean, do you think that would then help to sort of improve other areas of Southend in that part of the town?
I can't quote any stats because I don't know them off the top of my head, but it was obvious that people in Southend really care about each other from the results of the consultation. There were so many suggestions about how to help the community in different ways, for like food banks or I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there was like a resource for dementia, and like a lot of the suggestions were about what can we do for each other. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think that's just wonderful, really. Like that, given that you have the opportunity to say, what do you think that building should be? And people are saying, not just for me, but for the town, it would be good to do this and this. And I think it can only bring positive effects to the town, to bring people together and give them a space to thrive.
Do you think some of that has come partly from the fact that during 2020 and some of 2021 as well, with the coronavirus pandemic, people haven't had the opportunity to come together, to socialise, to be creative, and some of that good for the community has stemmed from that, do you think?
I think, yeah, possibly. I think definitely from a creative industry side, people they've been like, why can't we work here? And I think that's the same for like a social side, and to be like, let's invest our time and our resources in making where we are better. So I think that the lockdown allowed everyone to stop and reassess, and everyone we've been speaking to has come to the same conclusion, that they want Southend to invest their time into Southend, which is amazing, really.
So what's next then for Concrete Culture?
We're actually having a team meet next week to work out our next stages, but it will be another stage of consultation, to find out more about what the town wants the Kursaal to be. And we're also looking to release the results of the first consultation, so everyone can see what data and information and the ideas that people have submitted. We did put out a short video last week, which showed some of the results of the consultation, which people can look up. But we really want to let everyone know, like, a bit more. We want to tell people a bit more about what's been said, and some of the ideas have been amazing that we just want to share them. So that's sort of the next steps, and then we'll sort of see how it goes.
As you say, the sort of conversation continues with the next round of consultations that will be ongoing. If people want to be part of that conversation, how can they do that?
So then we've got a website. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, so you'll find us there. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with us. And then we're also open for people, if you've got a skill or you've got time that you want to get on board, like, we're completely open to meeting people, and we are a resident group, so more the merrier, basically. And
we'll put the link to the website in the description of this episode. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining me, telling me about Concrete Culture and your hopes and aspirations for that part of Southend.
Thank you.
Don't forget, an episode of Essex by the Sea drops on the 1st and 15th of each month, so hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it. Until next time, thanks for listening.